since you mentioned it, I'm going to ask because I want to know what the hell is going on or whatever you were saying. Do I need to word this specifically to get you to say it?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I guess it's either how was your weekend or what have you been playing lately?
My weekend was good.
Okay.
And
I'm getting worried.
And I have been playing something other than the slime game. Well, I was playing the slime game too, but I was playing something else too.
I was going to say, if you stop playing that, it's a cold day in hell.
But surprisingly...
What else have you been playing? Well, besides Dreamlight, since the update came out.
I forgot about that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's all we talked about for the last few days till it came out, and now you forgot all about it?
Basically. I would have been reminded when I looked at my notes, but...
Okay.
No, apparently I found out about a new mobile game. It's been out for a month. It looks like it's a indie developer because I don't recognize it at all.
Who's the dev, if you know who they are?
I wish I knew. Let me look it up. Hold on. But the name of the
game?
The name of the game, and I saw it advertised on Facebook of all places. Isekai Slow Life. So you start out.
Okay, not what I was thinking.
Yeah. It basically starts out with. Oh, if you were thinking about Ever Crisis, yes, I was playing that too.
I wasn't thinking that at all. I just didn't think that it was another isekai game, but go ahead.
Basically the same premise as almost all the isekai games. You die, you get reborn in some fantasy land or whatever. Except this time you're reborn as a mushroom.
So not far off from a slime.
Yeah, basically. But the whole point of the game is to grow a village and create a party that you increase its power, and part of increasing your party's power is to get lots and lots of girlfriends and adopt lots and lots of kids.
So what are you making, a mushroom harem?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Nice.
Isekai Slow Life. And when I mean, and he's the only mushroom in this.
Of course.
Yep. Let's see. Isekai Slow Life. I'm trying to see if I can pull.
So it's another Tenchi Muyo situation.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I can look up some information on it. What was the developer?
While you're looking up that, I actually didn't only play Starfield, although I did put in a lot of time. I'm up to like 40 hours in the game now.
I'm surprised.
Should we do like a weekly check-in to like tell you the stories of my travels in space?
Have you done it yet?
Have I done what?
It. Bumping the uglies.
No. I've been changing out companions to level up their companionship, friendship, whatever you want to fucking call it. Besides that, I played Sea of Stars.
Why does that sound familiar?
We talked about it a few times. It was in a couple of the different showcases and stuff. It's the isometric pixel RPG game.
Yes, it's just okay.
Like harkens back to Chrono Cross and stuff.
Yes.
Chrono Trigger. That's not bad. It has an interesting mechanic too, where like they leaned heavy in on the timing of the button presses. Mm-hmm. Like you could tap A to get an extra hit in your combo, or like you hold A to power up your attack, or you tap A when you're getting hit at the right time. But there's no timer that shows it. You have to judge it based on the animation. Ooh. So there's always like a set time during the animation that you press it to either reduce your damage or do more damage or something like that. Mm-hmm. But it's never telegraphed. Oh, no, that's not the only game I've been playing either.
What?
I spent all morning and then most of another morning playing F-Zero 99. We will talk about that. That came from the Direct, but I've been playing a lot of that game. Mainly for nostalgia purposes, but I really like it. Not a big Battle Royale person. I like Tetris 99 because that's fun, but F-Zero is so much fun too.
Okay, Mars Games, if that sounds familiar at all.
Does not.
Okay. Let's see. Trying to get pictures. But yeah, like for example, of the people you have in your harem is on the cover photo. You have a fox girl, a cat girl, a dog girl, a bunny girl.
I was expecting it to be like mushrooms or flowers or something.
Well, one of them's a goblin girl.
That's still not a mushroom.
It is not. Trying to think.
Where do you find these games?
This one I found on Facebook. I was like, what the fuck is this? So I gave it a shot.
And you still haven't played Vampire Survivors.
How
dare you?
I played the 5th. In all fairness, I completely forgot about it.
Uh-huh. During your weekly check-ins, I'm going to remind you now. That's going to be my check-in.
Yep, works for me.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, talking about the games to play, I would definitely recommend, if you had any interest in it, downloading Ever Crisis. It's fun. And it's pretty.
I don't, but I like games, so maybe I'll download it and check it out.
Because so far, some of what I've played of it, which surprised the hell out of me. Like at the beginning, it looks like they took the cutscene from the beginning of the Final Fantasy VII remake, which surprised the living hell out of me. I'm like, how the hell is this a free mobile game running cinematics like this? But then the actual battle system setup and everything like that, it looks good. It's the easiest way I can explain it is the way. Remember how the description I talked about that I was hoping the RPG genre would go instead of the way they did it with Final Fantasy 12, with trying to make it seem like an MMO.
Mm-hmm.
The way they took Ever Crisis is the way I hoped that thought the next step in turn-based RPGs would go.
Okay. You saying that just reminds me, like, they just showed off the new iPhone 15, and Apple was saying that's going to be one of the next most selling game hardware or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're really pushing video games on that now. Apparently Resident Evil 4 Remake and stuff's going to be on it, so there you go.
Okay.
I know, right? Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
And now that they're going to have the new USB-C port, there's no trying to look for special
theoretically plug up a controller to it.
Yeah, and not have to worry about compatibility.
Well, Xbox controllers are Bluetooth. You can connect to your phone with no problem, but still, you can probably do it that way too.
Yeah.
We're ready to talk about news. Do you want to get into it?
Yes, let's get into it.
Okay. When you were saying introducing the show, I thought you meant like doing the intro and you were going to make a joke or say something about that. That's why I was like, oh, how are we going to do this now? Saying this Ramblepack Podcast episode 43?
We didn't even mention that part.
What do you mean?
Did we? We didn't say what episode this was.
I just did. 43.
There you have it, folks.
Yay. And I'm Adam.
And I'm Mike.
And we missed last week, because last week was just a mess.
Life happens, people. And we had a hurricane. Give us a break.
Yeah, had that to worry about, too. It was just a busy-ass week.
It freaking was. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So...
Yay. But we're back. We got more stuff.
Yeah.
We got some fun stuff this week, too.
Oh, absolutely. Like, as far as my stuff is, it's not, like, big stuff, but still fun nonetheless.
Okay, let's start with something sad. Well, I'm going to go two different ways. I'm going to go sad personally and then sad for other people.
Okay.
Nintendo does not have any DLC plans for Tears of the Kingdom.
Why?
I don't know. They just don't have any. They're focused on making the next game now. That's what they said. They're like, no DLC plans. We're heads down focused on making the next game in the series. So I'm like, all right, that stinks, but I guess I get it.
maybe the next Switch is sooner than we think, and they're focusing on getting that going before they do anything else.
So it's funny that you say that. We both had the same information put down where some developers were shown the Switch 2 prototype, as we're going to call it because it doesn't really have a name, behind some closed doors recently.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about that? Because I've got some information as well.
Ooh, let me... Where is it?
Did you forget you put that in your notes?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. At least in my notes. According to Eurogamer and Video Games Chronicle, Nintendo demoed the Switch, the Switch's successor to devs at Gamescom. They basically demoed how the system works using a souped-up version of Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Which part? Now that you're saying
Matrix demo.
Now that you're saying what you're saying, then that kind of makes more sense.
This also seems like with the games that are coming out at the end of this year right now, like Mario RPG and then the Princess Peach game coming out next year, and the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, which again all part of the Direct. We'll talk about when we get there. A lot of people are pointing out that this is kind of like the swan song for the Switch.
Right.
And it's kind of like, we're going to give you all these Marios and the heavier hitters towards the end because we're going to be focused on the next version of the console, which is kind of what they've done for some of the previous ones too.
So that makes a lot more sense, because then at that point, because then that also brings up the other game that they used to showcase it was The Matrix Awakens. Which was released for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X back in 2021.
That was the Unreal 5 demo that was debuted for Xbox and PC and PlayStation 5, yeah.
Yeah. So they're not saying the game's going to come out on its successor, but it's basically showing, hey,
showing what it's capable of.
Right. That it's at that the new system's going to be at that level, which is nuts if you think about it. Because one of the biggest things that we've talked about, even though Nintendo's its own thing and they're their own market, the fact that they're stepping up their game system's capabilities to run current gen consoles specs, those type of games. Nintendo,
it's kind of a big leap from their old ass hardware that they have right now.
Right. So they're definitely gonna be contenders for the type of games that we're getting on PlayStation and Xbox on top of their own shit.
I think that they're still like one step behind with what I'm going to talk about later. Similar papers or information came out that talked about Activision Blizzard getting some hands-on demo with the quote-unquote Switch 2, and was still saying that the power of the console was on the level of the PS4 and Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still one generation away, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to be capable of what we have now, or at least close enough to it.
It's but even though it's not, if that is the case, that their systems are likening to the PS4 and the Xbox One, it also brings more light to the fact that Nintendo making the deal for Call of Duty.
Yeah, they'll be able to do that now. You're right. And not to mention, if they're working, like if, say, Activision Blizzard is bringing Call of Duty to it, this also reminds me of the Mortal Kombat 1 Switch version. I don't know if you've seen anything about that.
No.
But if Nintendo's working with them and just seeing what they can push the Switch right now to do, they'll be able to work it to make some pretty decent-looking games that run really well.
Right.
You should, if you want to laugh, go look up Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch. Like that, their graphics, it looks fucking terrible.
Really?
It's so bad. It's really bad. But I have a feeling, like, even if the Switch 2 is coming out, I get this funny feeling that they're going to talk about it next year at some point, but we won't see it until the year after.
Yeah. Seeing as the first article I get when I look that up says the issues will be will be resolved, that's already pretty bad.
Just look at the graphics comparison.
Okay.
They're also charging $70 for the Switch version, but when you see like the comparison in graphics, you're gonna be like, why?
Because Nintendo's going to do that. Oh, Jesus.
I wonder if Nintendo's really controlling that so much as it's NetherRealm and WB Games.
Oh, Jesus. As cool as Lies of Pi looks, I kind of want to get past this commercial.
Lies of Pi. You said it again. It's Lies of P. You fucking said it again. You do that every time we talk about it.
Yes, I will.
Nice job. You funny. Hey, remember that Immortals of Avum game? The first-person magic casting game? Are you okay? You look disgusted.
Oh my God, that is so bad.
Yeah, right? And they're charging $70 for that thing.
Holy shit. Like, the clothing's not even moving right.
It's not even that. They're bug-eyed. All the characters.
Yeah. Oh my God. Nope. Not. Yep.
You don't want to get mad?
Nope.
Okay. Remember Immortals of Avum?
No.
Okay. First-person magic game doesn't ring any bells?
I'm sure if I saw it, maybe, but at this point...
Like the dude casting with his arm, it's like a green ring around it and it's shooting like a machine gun?
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, so that game came out a couple weeks ago, and the developers already laid off about 45% of their staff afterwards, citing poor sales.
Oh, Jesus. Well, when we talked about it, we basically said it looked like a fantasy version of Destiny and all that shit, so...
I think this was like their first foray into something completely different. Yeah. So they took a swing, and not a lot of people were excited about it. But yeah, out of like 80 to 100 employees, which is like the estimate, they dropped 40 of them.
Oh, Jesus, that's horrible.
That's rough. Yeah. Speaking also of getting dropped, ReedPop and the ESA are parting ways over E3. They're not doing it anymore. Finding someone else to put on E3.
Well,
it's still planned for next year. They are just not... They need somebody else to do it now. But apparently the decision was mutual.
Yeah.
But they also don't plan to have it at the LA Convention Center like they've always had it. They're going to move it somewhere else.
Yeah, because I'm sure a poor turnout. Poor turnout for this.
Poor turnout.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted it last year.
Yeah, they're not going to be dishing out that kind of money.
No, they're going to have to completely change gears and make E3 something totally different because we've got studios that put out their own directs now or showcases. They can do all this shit on their own dime and on their own time.
Right.
Not to mention Gamescom is like a month or 3 weeks to a month after when E3 normally is, and that's kind of become the new E3.
Yeah.
Gonna have to completely change gears and make it something different.
I'm curious as to what the hell they're gonna do.
Good question. I don't know. Hopefully they can make it something interesting. Bring people back.
Yeah, basically. Only time will tell. It's going away like the time of the dinosaur. That sounded so bad. Well, I got some good news.
Hit me with it, since all my stuff is kind of bad news this week.
Okay, let's have some highs right now. For a quick one,
okay.
At least at the time when we were supposed to record last week, apparently Fortnite did another collab with My Hero Academia. I don't know if you had a chance to watch that anime yet.
Nope. It's on my list to do it, but I have no incentive to do so. So I'm just like, meh. I know it's decent. I've heard good things about it, but I'm just like, I have no rush to watch it.
I like it. It looks pretty. I'm definitely a fan of it. I can't wait till the next season comes out. But yeah, this time around they are they're doing Todoroki Red Riot skins and Mina Ashita.
I totally know who those people are.
All right. So for reference, Todoroki is his superpowers are he wields both fire and ice.
Is that the dude with the blue and or red and white hair?
Yes.
Okay.
Red Riot. It's basically he basically makes his superpower allows him to turn his body into a super hard substance. So basically he the way they make him look like when he activates it, he looks like the Thing.
A giant phallus.
Basically. Yeah.
Did you just say yeah?
Oh dear God.
Thank you.
And then who's Mina? Is she?
The hardest substance known to man.
Yep. Mina is. I'm trying to remember which one this is. Either Mina is the acid girl or she's the acid girl.
Okay.
She's completely pink. She secretes acid from her body. And she basically uses it to like slide around and shit like that. But she's cool. But yeah, it's a nice little thing. You can have fun, and if you didn't finish anything from the last time, you can get some of the old stuff again.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. What? Actually,
I'm assuming that's not literally retroactive, but it's just, hey, this is included in it.
Right? Yeah, you can try and get it again, or there's another way to get those things. What I thought was interesting as well was apparently Pokemon collaborated with the Van Gogh Museum.
That's news to me. I didn't know that.
I didn't know till I saw the article.
What does this mean?
They haven't exactly said yet. Basically the teaser trailer they sent out was shows like Eevee and Pikachu running through like a field of sunflowers, and then the sky itself turns into like a post-impressionistic Van Gogh style painting, and then
interesting,
and then sunflowers start coming out of everywhere. Yeah. But what people are thinking it's going to be, and they're going to give more information out on September 28th, or the collaboration itself is going to start September 28th. That people are, they could just put up paintings in the of Pokemon in the style of Van Gogh, but they didn't exactly say what. So I think that would be pretty cool. And apparently, this isn't the first time Pokemon has done collabs like this.
What was the last one? I didn't know that.
Like they collabed with Hatsune Miku for Project Voltage, which was a music
Really?
collaboration. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, they apparently did 18 different songs for the collaboration.
Wow. Okay.
And then they also did a collab with Converse Japan to do a collection of sneakers.
Interesting. Didn't they do a deal with like VW or something? And like made a Pikachu Beetle?
I think, wow, that was years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the Pikachu mobile now that you're saying that. When the hell was that? I want to say this was
I feel like they've done two different things, because like they had the Pikachu mobile and then they had like a Pokemon themed car where like when they showed it off, it was like a family sitting in front of the car and it was projecting an episode on a wall or something too.
That wasn't the same thing?
No, I think it was different.
Okay, Pikachu mobile. There's the. I can find the images, but it's not saying what year. Keeps leading to Pokemon Go. I'm like, no. I want to know when the.
Maybe that's what it was then. Maybe it was a Pokemon Go thing for that, but then the Beetle was straight up Pikachu.
Yeah, the Beetle. It looks like Pikachu, but it was. Oh, it was for the 10th Pokemon anniversary.
Aha.
So yeah, that was that had
Still
to have been a
Pokemon
while
Beetle,
ago.
though. I feel like it was recent, like just within the last couple of years.
No, Pokemon's been around for a while.
I'm talking about the car with the projector.
Oh. Well, I'm talking about the Beetle.
I know that was a while ago.
Yeah, because I think we just got out of high school when that came out.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Way to date us.
Listen, the conversations I've been having with Callie sometimes, Jesus Christ. Oh, yes. And back to what we were talking about earlier. The newest update of Dreamlight is live.
Yay.
I was really excited about this one, not because of...
Totally, because you forgot.
No, when it...
So excited.
Yeah. Well, I was more excited about actually telling you I'm playing something different than the slime game. But
okay.
No, I'm more excited. The sad part is I'm more excited about this update not because of Belle and Beast, but because the Halloween event came back. And the decorations this time around is phenomenal. Apparently they have a whole bunch of Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. You can dress in an Oogie Boogie onesie that makes it look like you have a full freaking diaper.
Nice way to describe it.
Uh-huh. And
walking around and shitting your pants.
Mm-hmm. The premium shop has you can buy a pet that's dressed as Zero. You get Zero's house. You can get a Nightmare Before Christmas themed skins for your tools.
I keep hearing something about a Nightmare Before Christmas version of Jack at Home Depot instead of like the 10-foot tall skeleton going around.
Yeah, it's a 12-foot one. My dad wants to get it so bad.
Oh, God. Ay.
It's an actual animatronic. I finally, sorry, because my mom was telling me.
Shit.
What?
Amelia better not remember that because last year she kept asking if we can get one for her this year. She better have forgotten. I don't want to do it.
You gotta.
No, I don't.
Yeah, patty poopa.
Get out of here. I like Christmas, not Halloween.
So, that's the best of both worlds. She likes Halloween, you like Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas. Come on.
Yeah, but I don't give a shit about Nightmare Before Christmas.
But she does.
She does, though. Yeah.
Come on.
Shut up. Don't put it in her head.
I won't.
Don't give her any ideas. We won't hear the end of it.
Listen, I make no promises what she sees at Sawyer's birthday, okay?
Uh-huh.
Well, you forget I have Nightmare Before Christmas blow-ups?
Oh, I haven't forgotten.
And has Callie told you that this year it's going to be his birthday is Halloween themed?
No, she did not.
Yep. Because
so what? Everybody has to come and dress up.
That's what Sawyer's hoping.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Huh?
Okay. Oh boy, I think we're busy that day.
You're gonna disappoint.
Don't you dare do that. Shut it.
Come on,
Don't
Uncle
you dare.
Adam. He loves you
Stop
guys.
It. Michael. I will end this call right now. Don't you pull that with me.
Oh, damn right I am. But all joking aside, but I really like this one because it also has like Hocus Pocus themed items, which I'm very surprised about.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. That was pretty neat.
Like I remember them having the icon, like if you go into like the clothing and the furniture and stuff like that. I remember seeing the Hocus Pocus icon a while back, but I didn't think anything of it. So I think that's pretty cool, even if it's only just for like the items. Just the idea of possibly having the Sanderson sisters as an eventual character would be cool. But the fuck was it? If you're a fan of Halloween, this update is going to make you go Moonstone broke. I did the first day. Mm-hmm. And I just still haven't gotten the house skins because there's a house skin pack that
they don't want you to do that though, right?
Huh?
Wasn't there an issue with the houses?
Yes. And once they give the okay and re-release it, I'm so getting it. Because
I thought the Haunted Mansion one was pretty cool.
Yes, but apparently when you buy the house skin, I didn't know this. Callie just told me this today because I didn't know that there was a Nightmare Before Christmas Haunted Mansion house skin. She said,
Oh, interesting.
I only saw pictures of it today on Facebook where some people had it at some point, and they showed pictures of it. I'm like, I don't remember seeing this in the shop. I know the Haunted Mansion one was there and it got taken down, but apparently the skin wasn't just for regular Haunted Mansion, because Halloween time, Disney World doesn't do anything with a Haunted Mansion, but Disneyland does. So to pay homage to both different versions, they have the Nightmare Before Christmas themed one for the house skin, and they have the regular one.
That's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. And then they also have the Tower of Terror on there. It's not a house skin, but it's a decoration though.
Right.
And the sucker's freaking huge. Holy shit.
Well, the ride itself is pretty tall.
Yes, it was. It's so big that when you go, you know how like the I don't know if you've tried it or not, but remember the Star Path, how we could get the amusement park rides like the carousel and the teacups and all that. How you can interact with them to activate them to get them to move. Tower of Terror does it, but when you hit the interact, you have to back away because it's so huge for you to see the animation.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, the Bell and Beast is a realm, not a biome. And dear God, the doors, not to if you haven't tried it yet, not to spoil anything.
We have.
The door itself, holy shit, it's expensive. It's 12,500 Dreamlight, which I think is what it costs to unlock either oh my God, the Pride Lands or the Forgotten Lands.
Probably the Forgotten Lands.
Yeah. So that goes to show how expensive that was. But I can tell you the quality of the story through the realm.
There's a lot more to this realm.
Yeah. The quality of the story and the animation is on par to the final update for the main story of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like one-off stuff that you see going into each realm. It actually looks like an actual story.
Right.
So
Meg was doing that storyline, and I couldn't help but laugh because at one of the points she apparently made Beast mad, or it was part of the story.
Yeah.
But like the angle of the character she's playing, and then Beast growling at her, it looked like he was yelling at her crotch.
Oh, Jesus.
So I was like, "What the hell's he doing?"
It made him angry.
Yeah, that's what he said afterwards. Because he yelled and then disappeared, and then he goes, "I think I made the Beast angry." I'm like, "He was yelling at your crotch. What'd you do?" Funny stuff.
There's only one furry creature allowed in this building.
Jesus. What does that mean or say about me if it's my character? It's a dude and it's based off me.
Rar.
You said it. Okay. How am I supposed to segue off that?
I have no idea.
Okay, this will make you say rar, I guess. Embracer Group is looking to sell off Gearbox, the makers of Borderlands. So just consider this more collateral from their deal that fell through.
But at least they're selling it off in hopes that somebody will be able to salvage the company.
I guess, but this is after they've gotten some interest from a couple different outside not investors, but people who are interested, I guess. Mm. No idea who, they didn't really specify, but people are interested in buying them off, and I think they need an influx of cash right now.
Uh-huh. What about insult to injury if one of the offers came from Saudi Arabia?
Be kind of funny.
It would. But
then again, do they really have any studio? Well, I don't even know. I don't know what their structure for things looks like. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It'd be interesting, but I'd see it more being like Xbox or Sony.
I can see that too.
Oh, or Amazon? No, who's putting out the movie? Is it Lionsgate?
I don't know. I didn't even know there was a Borderlands movie.
Yeah. It's been all done, waiting to come out. It could be one of the big names that are behind that. Like, my first thought was maybe it's from Amazon, but I remember that Fallout is being put on by Amazon.
Lionsgate is the distributor of the movie.
That's what I thought. All right. I don't know what's going to come from that. Anyway, that's what's happening with them. Hopefully Gearbox doesn't get fucked over in that process because they don't deserve to fold. They've made some really good games. They made some stinkers too, like Aliens, Colonial Marines, and the Duke Nukem game, but other than that, they've done pretty well. Oh, talking about some stinkers, Ubisoft didn't get to put out X Defiant because they failed their, They were rejected certification from both Sony and Xbox.
How badly do you have to fuck up that both companies?
So I've written it down. The literal short story of that is that there were too many problems in the testing phase at Sony and/or Xbox to receive a pass from them. That's the short of it.
Why even bother present anything then?
Because they thought that their internal testings were good enough and the game was all set to be able to pass those. What I've written down from reading, because I'm kind of jumping around in my thoughts here. I think is the game director for that put out a letter basically explaining how the process works and what happened. What they do is Sony and Xbox test for compliance bugs rather than functionality bugs. And what that means is that functionality bugs are like, does this feature work as it is intended? Like, is the damage showing up? Is it the correct amount of damage? Is the gun firing right? Stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Compliance bugs are the ones that relate to the systems and overall experience that the first parties expect from games on their platform, like trophy tracking, friends list updating correctly, being able to invite people to your game, connecting to their network correctly, all that kind of stuff. Apparently, it failed too many spots in that from either side, so they're like, nothing doing. You got to work on it.
That sounds reasonable. Why? Like, whether or not...
I mean, it is reasonable. They've just held some closed betas and stuff trying to make the game work, but it was only on PC. Right. The game apparently runs. People are enjoying it from what I've seen, but they've still got some work to do to make it work on consoles, I guess.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
He sounded upset in the letter, like, yeah, we've been pushing to get this out at the end of August, and compliance tested, or we got a failed... What am I trying to say? They got their rejection from their certification, so they're like, back to the drawing board. Hopefully by the end of this year.
Good luck to you guys. Hopefully it works.
We will see.
Ooh, guess what?
What?
Guess what's coming in November?
I already know, but you can tell me again because I'm so excited. I don't know who's more excited, me or Amelia. That's not a joke.
The first ever Bluey game!
Coming to all consoles and PC.
I know, I was very surprised about that. This is going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Is it bad that when I saw...
And you can play 4 players? Mm-hmm. Like, you could get the whole family to play?
Is it kind of bad that when I saw the article... I didn't think about my son first.
Well, no, because like that was kind of like my thought too. I saw it and I'm like, no way. So I checked out the trailer. I'm like, oh, this looks like it's gonna be cute to play. And I'm like, oh wait, all of us can play. I can get everybody to join in.
It's pretty cool. I like it. I like the fact that they actually got the original voice cast to be part of it.
Mm-hmm. And it's a whole new or brand new story, and they're like including the mini games that are in there are the games that they play in the show, like Keepy Uppy, keeping the balloon in the air, and like the ground is lava and shit like that.
Oh, that's cool. It's gonna be cool for kids, especially since they know that stuff from the show. What I thought was pretty cool because if you guys who are listening actually know the show Bluey, it's mainly geared for kids, but they include a lot of stuff in there as like nods to parents and be like, hey, the show is actually for adults too. And supposedly
adults can learn a lot from it.
Oh yeah,
or get ideas.
Apparently the video game's going to be like that too. So it's not just going to be geared towards the kids. It'd be like, hey, here's a little something for you too.
That's nice. I like that.
I like that. That was pretty cool. And not to mention that they're actually working with BBC Studios. It's not just like, hey, the developer bought the licensing rights from them. No, they're actually working together. I'm like, that's pretty damn cool.
Yes, I agree.
Because
cool stuff.
Look at how many times we've gotten like TV show games of kids shows that fell short. So
yeah, like the Paw Patrol games, those are kind of like meh. I mean, they're not bad per se, but like they're clearly kids don't really care or pay attention to this kind of shit. But they're really stiff and simplistic.
Yeah.
And it's like very meh. You don't really learn anything from it, or it's not teaching anything. Doesn't have anything for kids. It's just like something to do.
Right.
But I feel like the Bluey game will be interesting. They had like I told you earlier, they have a Peppa Pig game, and it's like that one is just like the show. You are literally playing a character that's inserted into an episode, and you can go to different places and watch the story.
That's cool. I really do hope it comes out well. I do plan on trying to get this for Sawyer for Christmas, if Callie can wait long enough. Mm-hmm. That's really what it's going to come down to.
We're not waiting. We're going to buy it and play it day one. I know it.
Okay, so we're not hanging out with you after it releases.
I mean, you can just have some fun.
Yeah, but it's gonna be hard because then Sawyer's gonna see it and be like, "Mommy, Daddy, I want it." We're gonna have to say no because we already got it.
Yeah, don't let him see it. Don't subject him to commercialization.
I know, right?
Did you take a look at what were you gonna say?
No, I was like, I was gonna basically say I think it's gonna be pretty cool. I can't wait to try it out.
Yes, I agree. Did you get a chance to look over the list of games that I put in here from the Direct?
I did not. I was going to let you discuss the Direct.
I am not going to name and talk about each and every single game because it was 40 minutes worth of games from Nintendo, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Some of them are coming out throughout the end of this year, and some of them are coming out next year. Mm-hmm. So the Direct happened last week on the 14th. Mm-hmm. And it was just straight up games. No mention of like the hardware, no mention of any kind of new peripherals or anything like that, just straight up games. The biggest surprise was the Paper Mario 1000 Year Door remake.
Okay.
That game is one of the most beloved Paper Mario games. Myself included, I loved it. I like Paper Mario well enough, but the 1000 Year Door, just the writing and the characters and how everything flowed and the abilities in that game, it was perfect. It's like one of the games to have and play. I am partially biased because, I like Nintendo, I grew up with it, but that is a really, really good game that if anybody has a Switch, you need to get that.
Now, is it a remake or a remaster?
Remake.
Okay.
A remaster, I'm sorry. Well, it's a little bit of both. They're adding some other stuff to it, too. And like touching graphics and changing some gameplay stuff, but like it's wholly going to be as it was.
Okay.
It's just going to be prettier.
Right, because I was going to say, if it's going to be a remake, do you think it's going to hold up to the original?
I'm going to err on the side of caution and say it's a remaster, so yes, it's going to. But yeah. They showed off some more stuff about Mario RPG as well. Mm-hmm. If you played the original, and you'll enjoy this. They added some new team-up attacks and some other options and things like that to the game too, which is interesting. It almost feels like they're making some things easier in it, based on like the numbers that they showed for damage, because it was like 10 or 20, and then somehow you got 300. So like, oh, okay, just making it easier. We talked about this game, Dave the Diver. That's coming out to the Switch.
Yay!
I think that's the first console it's going to hit.
Which
is kinda surprising.
PlayStation, you ain't getting it.
I was talking about this earlier, and I'll say it again. They put out F-Zero 99, another one of their 99 series games, which is a battle royale. If anybody has ever played the Super Nintendo version of F-Zero, it's just like that, but with 99 people. It's very cool. Your energy meter is what keeps you in the race. So long as you don't lose that, then you are good. Mm-hmm. You lose it, you crash out, and then you're stuck in whatever place you ended up in after everybody else crashes out. Beyond that, you're just bumping and boosting and trying to get to the end while maintaining your meter after 4 laps. That's like the easiest way I could put it, but it's fun. It's really cool. Oh yeah, the Princess Peach game finally got a name. It's called Princess Peach Showcase.
Showcase or Showtime?
Showtime, sorry. What did I put?
Showtime.
I put show. Where did I see Showcase at? Yeah, it's Showtime. Sorry. It's supposed to be like the premise of it is she's going to a theater of some sort to see a show, and like some evil person comes out and changes it, so then she has to change outfits to fit the theme of the show in the theater to solve the problems or whatever. Like, there's a detective one, there's a chef one, there's a kung fu one.
Okay.
It's neat, and all of them incorporate like different gameplay elements or mini games and things like that to get through the story. It looks like it's fun.
I'll have to check that out after.
It's pretty cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's going the Mario Odyssey route, where it's Cappy was Mario's hat this time, and that's how you could take over guys and use their abilities and stuff like that. Instead, she gets a ribbon that can do different attacks and can open up different things and will help her with their outfits. I guess there's like the basis of the outfit changes.
Oh, so they're changing.
Check out the trailer. Kinda. It had that feel to it.
I just pulled that out of my ass. I had no idea. Just looking at this list, it's a complete difference from the PlayStation State of Play.
Mm-hmm. Oh, WarioWare Move It. A lot of people were making fun of that game.
Why?
Because it reminded them a lot of like the Wii version of WarioWare, which is a really cool game. I really like that one, so I'm excited for this one. So it has like you're using the nunchucks to do different poses to be able to play the mini games. One of them is like the chicken, so you're having one here, and then you're like you hold the other one behind you, and you bend over like it's your tail feather. But people were like, WarioWare, shove the controller up your ass game.
Oh my god!
So I'm like, that's perfect, yes, but I get it. It looked like a lot of fun. WarioWare games are always good, especially when you get a bunch of people to play. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no offense, when you described that position, I was like, oh shit, it's teaching people to get spit roasted.
Jesus. When you have a second, look up Unicorn Overlord. The name alone sounds interesting, but I love the art style of this game. It's along the same vein of Fire Emblem. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a war-based, not RTS, but RPG kind of thing. But, like, the art style, man, it's so pretty. It's made by Atlas, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
No, not Atlas? Was it Atlas? I can't remember.
Let's see. Yeah, Atlas West.
Wow, okay. Yeah, it looks super cool. I really like the artwork.
Yeah, I can definitely see Atlas doing this. Just looking at some of the images, like there's a horse image that's in that style. Yeah, I can picture this. That looks cool.
Oh, and since people really like Splatoon 3, they finally showed off the whole premise behind the expansion. It's almost like a roguelike, kind of. Like you're going between floors trying to get to different things, and you can add... Everything is gray, basically.
Yep.
And you can add color to your Squid Kid, like the... I don't know if they're stickers or whatever, but it changes different aspects of your character.
Okay.
So it has like a roguelike element, or you can build loadouts.
That's interesting.
There's way more games in that Direct too, but I'm like skipping over a lot because there's a lot. I'm just naming like some of the big things or what I was excited for.
Oh, absolutely. I want to say, as compared to I don't have it written down, but as compared to like the PlayStation State of Play, which had what, 4 or 5 games?
I forgot that even went on. Yeah, I didn't watch it really.
Like,
And it was I kept hearing different things about it. And didn't they show like Spider-Man 2 or 3 times?
I don't even think they showed it in the. I don't even think they showed Spider-Man in the actual showcase. I think they showed it in like the previews before it.
I think the best thing that came out of that was the Separate Ways DLC for Resident Evil 4 Remake. Everybody knew that it was coming, but apparently it looked really cool.
I beg to differ. I think watching the show
VR stuff.
I think watching the show, the State of Play, what I enjoyed the most was the end trailer where they showed.
Final Fantasy stuff.
Yeah, Rebirth. Oh my god, it's so pretty.
I finally did watch that trailer. It looks really cool.
It looks awesome, and by the way it sounds, basing it off my knowledge of the original game, they're going through a good chunk of the story.
Do you think it's going to wrap everything up, or are they going to do one more?
Not at all. I highly doubt that they're gonna wrap it up after with this one. I can see them having maybe one more installment after that, if they do.
Really?
Yeah. Because where I think they're gonna leave off is, they're gonna leave off with Eris's death. I think that's where they're gonna do the cutoff.
I wonder how much of it's going to be different though, because in the trailer they showed like everybody's okay, and then everybody's being pulled out on stretchers, and Cloud and Sephiroth are friends and teamed up against something, and then Zack's there with Cloud. Like, there's alternate timelines or different dimension shit going on.
Have you played the original game?
No. Oh, wait. The Final Fantasy VII, the original?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all.
Like, I know what... We talked about what Cloud was or what happened and all that stuff, but, like...
Right.
I don't know how all this other stuff plays into it.
I see where all that other stuff plays into it. It's actually part of the story. You're probably not thinking of it.
No, it's not coming to me.
All right, so in the game, at some point when Cloud's telling his version of the story, he tells, like, you know how for some reason Cloud's memory is memories of Zack, right?
It's Zack's, yeah.
Yeah. Well, when Cloud's telling his version of it, he's teaming up with Sephiroth, not Zack. That's what those scenes are. So I think that's what that is.
Okay.
But yeah, I do think they're gonna, at least in my opinion, I think they're gonna end it with at least this installment with the death of Eris. Whether or not
that would be a good ending for it, for sure.
Yeah. Now what?
Because then it's a mad dash to the end.
Basically. Actually, I think that isn't that how one of the discs ended too?
I think so. But also in the trailer, wasn't Tifa fighting against Sephiroth?
Yes, because that's also in one of the flashbacks. That's in Tifa's flashback. The way she remembers Nibelheim.
Okay.
Trying to think. I think what surprised the hell out of me is the fact that this is going to be across 2 games.
Two discs?
Yeah. So I'm curious as to why they need that. It's like, how heavy are they going graphics wise, or how big of a story?
Or wasn't the first installment of this like more linear, and then they want to go more open world with this next part?
Yeah.
Because it could be all that.
It could be. Okay, that makes more sense. Not to mention, wasn't one of the biggest gripes with Final Fantasy 15 was, even though it was supposedly open world, that didn't have a whole lot to it.
No, there is a lot to the open world from what I remember playing it. You can go pretty much anywhere you'd find something. You could take quests and go explore different places. There was like mazes and dungeons and stuff like that. It's that the story kind of like fell apart towards the end.
Yeah. I was gonna say if that was the case that the open world didn't have much to it or stuff like that. Maybe they weren't they're not trying
I thought
to
it was
make
a
this
good open
interesting.
world. There's just to me it was too heavy on the driving mechanic. If you really wanted to get anywhere, you had to drive because it was slow walking around places.
Oh fuck. Yeah, that could be a problem.
It's fine.
If you like the grind, go ahead.
Speaking of grind, I'm looking at your part of the list here. Some Destiny cheaters got legally banned from ever playing Bungie games, huh?
Yeah, and
Serves them right.
basically, like granted, if you think about the numbers, it's kind of, I'm like, holy shit. But at the same time, it makes sense when they do the breakdown. What Adam's talking about is Destiny took a particular cheater to court, and they ended up suing him for $500,000, and the guy's played from playing any type of Bungie game, basically for the rest of his life. At the time of the suit, the kid was only 17 years old, so that's why why some people think it was ridiculous. But at the same, when you actually hear the details, apparently he repeatedly used cheat software to basically better himself in competitions, and broke copyright law by using his software to put a graphical overlay, which was owned by Bungie. Eventually, what came down to is both parties agreed that that the kid had to pay Bungie $300,000 in statutory damages for infringing his copyright, and an additional $200,000 for over 100 acts of ban circumvention. Basically, $2,000 per each evasion.
That racked up pretty quickly.
My question is, how did he? The fact that this guy had to be that persistent that he circumvented it 100 times, does that mean he created 100 different accounts and they caught him every single time?
Pretty much. I mean, it really depends on what way he was banned too, because there's different levels you can ban somebody from doing something. If he gets like IP banned, then he straight up will not be able to access any of the Bungie servers or anything like that, because it'll get the IP from your network connecting to him. It's like, nope, nothing from here is coming through. You'll see like consoles that are stolen, like from stores and stuff, or like from people's houses. They'll get the MAC address from the console itself and be able to ban it from there, so that way that console can't access the, like, say, Xbox Live services or anything like that as well. So it's basically a brick system. It really depends on the way that Bungie was banning them. If they were just doing account bans based on activity, then sure, he could just keep making accounts and doing it all day long.
I would think that, because I don't see it being any other way, unless this guy was running a VPN or different switches, and just being assigned a new IP every single frickin' time.
It really depends on the way Bungie was doing it.
But yeah, and besides the monetary damages, this kid's name is Leon, or Leon, however you pronounce it. He is banned from interacting with any cheat software that may affect Bungie-owned properties. I think that should go without saying.
That's a very narrow window, but okay.
Interacting with Bungie-owned game assets, interacting with any Bungie game whatsoever, harassing Bungie employees directly or indirectly. So I'm guessing he was doing that at some point too. Harassing anyone who plays Bungie games directly or indirectly. Traveling within 1,000 feet of any Bungie office. Okay.
It's mainly in Washington.
Yeah. And knowingly traveling within 1,000 feet of any homes or apartments occupied by Bungie employees. Fuck.
Yeah.
Like how? What the hell was he doing? What the hell was he doing that they had to put those in place?
Wonder if this was the same person who was sending the pizzas to the one Bungie employee and then pretending like he was there by giving the pizza employee specific instructions.
Oh fuck.
Do you remember that story I told you about?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I wonder if this is that same person.
If it is, then Jesus Christ, he fucked up.
Yeah. When we were talking about Nintendo, how did we not bring up the amiibo?
I don't know.
Figured you would have been all over it.
Oh, I'm excited.
What are you excited for, Mike?
Sawyer gets... Sawyer, yeah. Sora
Wow, really?
Sora gets an amiibo! And I guess a few other people too, but I don't care about those. But
you know that it's going to be hard to get your hands on that.
Oh, I'm so... I don't know. I'm going to... Even though I may not have a Switch, if I can pre-order that motherfucker, I'm going to.
I don't blame you.
What I find funny is they announce what all the other amiibos are going to give for the game. They didn't say what Sora does. Nor do they have an exact date. They just...
Also, any game that has amiibo connectivity, it doesn't have to be for a specific game. You can use any amiibo on any game and you'll get something from it.
Mm.
So I wonder how he'll interact with other games besides just Smash.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. Watch, we try the Sora amiibo on Tears of the Kingdom, and all of a sudden Link can use a Keyblade.
It wouldn't go that far. I think he'd definitely get like a souped up weapon, because some amiibos will give you like a weapon with special abilities on it, like extra durability or attack power or something like that. Or sometimes if you do that, you'll get like certain amiibos will give you some cooking ingredients or like a fully done recipe. Mm-hmm. Specific Legend of Zelda amiibos would give you certain outfit pieces or the entire outfit itself too.
Right. Well, that's what I was thinking of. If they really wanted to go that far, or maybe because Link uses a shield, maybe like one of Goofy's shields or something like that, just for shits and giggles.
I don't think that they would be allowed to, just based on the IP. Like, I can see them looking or going like that route and maybe getting one of the magic rods in Legend of Zelda, like the fire rod. Well, depending on if you want to count fusing shit together, but you can get like the fire rod or the ice rod, or it can be one of the shields like you're talking about with extra durability or something too.
Right.
So it's like a nod to it without being actually from it.
Fair enough. Okay. It's gonna be cool. I want one, even if it's just to put it in my collection.
Good luck getting it. You know everybody's gonna want it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Starfield just recently hit 10 million players.
Fuck. And it's been
It
out for
hit
what?
3 or 6 million within a day when it came out. And it had the most players of any Bethesda game at one time, beating out Skyrim. And they're up to 10 million people have played now.
Jesus Christ. And I can see why. It looks like a fun freaking game.
I love it. It's so much fun. And I guess I could tell you the mechanic for like the New Game Plus like I told you about. Mm. But I'll save that for off stream because we got some heavy stories to get to before we hop off here.
Oh, boo.
We're already at an hour or so.
Oh, Jesus. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think I did mention this to you, but like we get to go into full detail now. The game engine Unity, which I've been learning to make games in and stuff, has officially pissed off a lot of the developers who have used the game and people who have been learning it. They wanted to introduce a new pricing structure to basically give them more money. They wanted to introduce something called a runtime fee that's based upon this is going to get a little complicated, but it's based on each time a qualifying game is downloaded by an end user. What that means is what they wanted to do was after a game is, they have to meet two specific thresholds. They have to make $200,000 and be installed 200,000 times. And then after that, they would charge a fee based on each installation. The problem with that is that could be used pretty maliciously. So say a community gets upset at a game. They can mass install and then delete and then reinstall that game over and over and basically bankrupt the company based on these new fees.
That was gonna be my next question. Is like, let's say for example, I wasn't even thinking that, but I was thinking along the lines of like, let's say for example, you have limited storage. Let's say I play.
It's also across multiple devices too. It's not just reinstalling and stuff. It's across all devices.
Right. So I'm thinking like with my PlayStation, before I got myself a Tera drive to save stuff, I had 500 gigabytes of data on the internal hard drive. I had to uninstall stuff so I can play other games. And then if I want to play it again, I'd have to reinstall it. So every time I do something like that, and it's under a Unity game, the developer has to pay them.
Yes.
That's
the kicker.
Up.
It was going to be retroactive. It would go into effect the 1st of next year, but it would count for all these other games that have come out before then as well.
One, that's fucked up, and how is that legal?
Because it's their engine, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if it's legal or not, but yeah. Needless to say, a lot of companies were upset. It was a huge thing all weekend, and Unity was trying to put out fires left and right. But there was a lot of talk positively about other game engines for people to switch to. Like Unreal has a really good revenue share program where it's up to $1 million and they don't give a shit about installs. Mm-hmm. Godot is a open source game engine that people were learning, and that's nothing. You don't have to pay for jack shits. You download it, learn it, you're good to go. Yeah. From my understanding, that's what I keep hearing about that. I did a little math. 200,000 downloads is 200,000 downloads. Mm-hmm. Sure, it's a little harder to hit that number. But, like, say you're selling your game for $35, mm-hmm. You only need to sell, like, 5,720 copies. Mm-hmm. And you're already at that 200,000 threshold. So anything after that, you still have to pay 20 cents per copy that you're selling. This is also a funny thing. They didn't mention anything about Game Pass subscriptions or like the Sony subscription model or anything like that. So, say you get a lump sum from one of those companies to put your game on Game Pass or one of their subscription models. Sure, you have that money now. They give you like $350,000 to do so. Mm-hmm. What do you do when all that money is eaten up by all these fees?
They're going to go bankrupt in no time at all.
Exactly.
And know what I just thought of while we were talking? Not only for malicious purposes.
Well, really quick. They also said that Xbox and Sony would be on the hook for those charges after a while. They're like, yeah, we'll get them to pay us for the installs. And they're like, the fuck you will? Where'd that come from?
Right. Yeah. Like, good luck with that. You take them to court. See what happens.
Yeah.
You see those games come off their system, their lists very quickly. But yeah, no. Think about it from this perspective. Let's say you have game bugs in your system, and you've done everything else. You've reset the game. You power cycled your system. Everything like that. What would your next step be after you've exhausted all other efforts?
Uninstall and reinstall the game.
So because your game's having a bug, for by no fault of anybody's on their own other than it just had an error. The developer
and the devs are on the hook for it.
Yeah, They gotta pay an extra 20 cents because of that download.
Yeah, that was that's the idea behind it. Yeah, and that's mainly their argument for that is that because anytime the game is downloaded and installed, the Unity runtime is also installed.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted to include the install base fee to go along with that as part of their revenue share program. Which, funny enough, also they are dropping. They're changing up the way that they're doing their models, I guess. Mm-hmm. They are dropping. Let me see if I can find it. Unity Plus is being dropped, which was $400 a year, and now people will have to purchase Unity Pro, mm-hmm. which is $2,000 a year.
Fuck you.
I don't know if their free version is still going to be up there or not, but they're pushing people to use these new subscription models. They went on to clarify and say like games that are part of charity bundles such as Humble Bundle and stuff will not be counted, and Game Pass and stuff those fees will not be retroactive anymore.
Yeah, because Microsoft probably told them, "Listen, you knocked this shit off. Well, we're gonna take you to
they
court."
put all this information out, and then as time went on over the weekend, they kept trying to like backpedal or clarify things further and make it make sense, but it really wasn't. And a lot of devs took to this point to say, "Hey, buy our game, just don't install it. You want to help us out? You can buy the game, just don't install it." Right. And there was a handful of games too that were like, "If this shit's going into effect, we're taking our games off the store." Mm-hmm. Like Cult of the Lamb was a huge hit. It was made in Unity. They said, if this is what it's going to be, come the 1st of January, our game is going to be delisted. Mm-hmm. And a lot of other devs were talking about following suit too. Terraria, which is an old-ass game that was built on Unity and has made millions of dollars. It's a great game. Mm-hmm. They did a really cool thing where they're like, we're shocked and saddened by what's going on here. Mm-hmm. So in light of all the crap and all the fallout, we're going to set up a fund where they are putting money into the Godot engine, the open source free one, and something else. And then for every, in like increments of $1,000, they're putting more into this stuff every so often, just to like prop it up and keep people afloat, or being able to keep them afloat, so that way they can make stuff using these engines instead of Unity.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
I'm 100% behind that. Fuck Unity.
Now, after all this has come out, they regrouped, quote unquote, to try and find a solution for all these issues. And in part of this, they clarified that some of the install fees are only on the initial install now, rather than being retroactive. Additional devices, like I mentioned, will still have that fee because it's not an additional install. It's a different device. It's not going to count because it's not, say, like Steam Deck and PC. Mm-hmm. It counts as 2 rather than 1, even if it is the same Steam account. Fees, another thing. Fees were going to be also included on demos and stuff, but now they clarified and said, okay, we're not going to do it on demos anymore unless it's a download of the full game, such as like early access or something like that.
Like I said, fuck Unity, and if you're going to charge a fee, charge it for the purchase. I buy the one game. You're not going to cut into the developer's profits because you're an asshole.
They also said that they'll waive the runtime fee if devs switch to their ad monetization service.
What the fuck does that mean?
So, I don't remember if it's specifically for mobile games or how it works, but they have a system within the engine that you can run ads on, but it's obviously through the Unity service, like through their own stuff, and obviously they would get a cut of that. So a lot of devs were like, yeah, fuck that, let's just not turn that on and we'll use something else instead. So that way they get their own fair cut. But most recently, Unity has kind of updated everything else and was like, okay, fine. We're only going to limit the fees to about 4% of revenues from studios making over $1 million. No retroactive fees on installations. And the data from everything will be self-reported by the studios themselves. I think that they have shot themselves in the foot multiple times over this, and nobody is going to trust them again. I
agree.
feel for the devs whose games were coming out this year or very soon to where they cannot switch engines because they're so far along in development already. But you are seeing a lot of devs saying, fuck that, we're done with Unity. We're jumping ship and doing something else.
Yeah, basically. I agree. I would say those that don't have a choice, release your shit, self-reporting, cool.
I got one more thing from this that's going to make you mad too.
Oh, fuck.
With all this Fallout, I'm sorry. Just before all this bad shit came out about the dev fees and stuff, their CEO sold 2,000 shares a week before all this. Yeah.
Because he knew this shit was going to fuck.
Mm-hmm. It really makes you think.
If the CEO knows this shit is so fucking bad that he's going to sell 2,000 shares to save his fucking money, don't do it. This is literally putting your money where your mouth is, you fucking assholes.
Or he just didn't trust this model or thought it was going to piss people off, so he's like, yeah, okay, bye.
But he's the goddamn CEO. It's not like he quit.
Let me give you a comparison. This is very similar to the Wizards of the Coast debacle from a couple months back. With the changing of the fees and everything.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. It's even worse because their own boss knows that this was bullshit, but instead of doing the right thing and saying, no, we're not doing this.
He figured the stock was going to take a hit, so he's like, I'm going to get out now.
Yeah, basically. Doesn't quit or anything like that. Just like, hey, I'm taking my money out of this because I know we're going to get fucked.
Yeah. Well, Unity has lost a lot of faith in the dev community and studios, so that was fun thing part 1.
Oh, jeez. I'm going to say this right now to anybody that's listening that's a developer and using this shit. This is not legal advice. But they said, self-report. If you do not have a choice, release the games. Tell them I sold shit. Go fuck yourself. Then switch engines for any future games. Unity, go fuck yourself.
So that was a fun thing to follow all weekend. Yeah. The new fun thing just happened today. There was some documents from Xbox to the FTC that were leaked.
Uh-huh.
I was going to say quote, but they were leaked unintentionally. To kind of, well, I don't even know where I should go with that. People were thinking that it was the FTC, but the FTC was like, yeah, it wasn't us. We didn't do it. And come to find out, it was a complete mistake on Xbox's part, from what I've read.
Oh, fuck.
This included, like, estimated or predicted costs for what it would take to put games on Game Pass, where it was ranging from anywhere from $5 to $30 million, depending on the game. There were docs showing new things that were coming out, such as a new version of the Series X, where it kind of looks cylindrical, and it's going to be mainly cloud-based with a 2 terabyte internal. A new version of the Xbox controller. What else? There was confirmation that Starfield was going to come to the PS5, and since they bought Bethesda, they just switched entirely to Xbox. There was talks about, not potentially, but the idea of Xbox being able to buy Nintendo down the road in some way or some form. It would never happen, but it was just like a thing that Phil Spencer was talking about wanting to do or being able to do, but clearly it wasn't a I'm going to do this or this is my goal to do this kind of thing. It would be like, it would be a cool thing to have on my resume to do this, but it's not going to happen, especially when Nintendo was firing on all cylinders or doing great.
But doesn't that statement basically reiterate the fact of what their business plan was years ago, where they could outspend Sony and drive them into the ground?
Kinda.
So this is a second time. This is the second time that they've done that. They've said they've made plans to try to eliminate the competition, or at least one of their competitors.
I don't know, because I don't know what they would do with that kind of information. Apparently Game Pass made about $230 million in revenue in 1 month, and it also showed that most users pay for the full subscription, which is pretty interesting. It's good to know that, because if they're cutting deals with devs to put their games on Game Pass, that means that they're getting a good chunk of that money.
Yep.
So at least it's being reinvested into those studios. What else? There was there's some talks coming from this. There was also some information about a Red Dead Redemption 2 next gen update or version of the game.
Mm-hmm.
A possible Dishonored 3, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if there's any real want for that, but they're not bad games.
Yeah.
The Indiana Jones game is pretty close to release. You don't know anything about that?
Didn't even know there was going to be an Indiana Jones game.
Two of the bigger ones, which is pretty interesting, is that there was some information about a Fallout 3 remaster and an Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remaster.
Ooh.
Oh, also, along with the Nintendo thing, Phil Spencer talked about acquiring WB Games also, and maybe even Valve.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to when all these conversations happen, that information is on
the dates on these emails and stuff say last year. Around May, I think.
So so these thoughts weren't exactly around the time when they were claiming to plan to outspend Sony. This was recent. It's kind of contradicting what was said in the trial. How the fuck is this shit didn't come up in the trial?
I think that all this information was supposed to be submitted to the FTC so they can make their decision before October, or getting to October. To help the CMA or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But the way that they were put onto wherever they were sharing the shit ended up getting the documents leaked. So everybody found out all this information when they shouldn't have.
Oh, fuck.
Well, so specifically, the new Xbox versions and stuff that I mentioned, those were the documents that were from May of last year.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find the emails really quick again. Get a date for you, unless those were blocked out.
So this basically sounds like it's worse than Sharpiegate.
I would say the Sharpiegate is worse, just because of, State of the Union, but still. It is pretty rough.
A little bit.
I will say, at least in some of the emails, Phil Spencer was like, kind of like the failure of Halo and then the drought of no AAA games and stuff. He's like, this needs to be a lesson that we can learn from. It really hurts things with having nothing to show for it. Yeah, what I was just talking about, having nothing in their, what am I trying to say here? Having nothing to come out between Halo and something else, that was May 7th of 2022 as well. So there was something about a handheld device from Xbox as well. Oh yeah, they wanted to kind of like bridge the gap between cloud gaming and console gaming. So like you would have the PC, you would have a hybrid of like console and cloud, and something that's like just straight up cloud based and stuff like that.
Isn't that where the Game Pass or the Xbox app for mobile devices comes into play?
Sort of, but that also would be like here. I don't know if you can see this based on the webcam, but can you see that?
No, it's blurry.
That's like a okay. I can't even see you. Come on, phone, focus. Focus, darn you. That square right there, that's like a little mock-up of a handheld for Xbox.
Yeah.
That was part of this whole docket.
Damn.
But Phil Spencer did come out and address all these leaked things that came out. One of the main things he said was that a lot of this information that's coming out is old and some plans and stuff has changed. And then he sent out a company-wide email about all these leaks and stuff like that didn't really like say much. It's just like, this is unfortunate that this stuff has come out. Still appreciate all the hard work you're doing. And that's really it.
Yeah, because somebody fucked up.
God help whoever did fuck up.
Oh, Jesus. I would assume at that point it would be somebody in their legal.
Oh, since we're talking about it, I just saw another thing. From one of the messages that he sent to his team was after the PS5 reveal, he said, "We have a better product than Sony does and the ingredients of a winning plan." They just needed stuff to fill that, and they didn't really have it at the time. They just had a good backbone of Game Pass and things like that to start off on. They thought that they had a 30% better GPU, and then they were getting worried about like what Sony was capable of until the PS5 reveal. And then there's like, okay, I think we're all right. And I will say that they're doing better. They're kind of making waves, but they still have a lot of ground to make up. Another funny thing too was the Like a Dragon, the Yakuza games, since they rebranded. They thought a lot of people assumed that Xbox bought the rights to having that game on Xbox first, when it was actually kind of like a legal wall that Sega backed themselves into. It's really messy and complicated, and I'd have to find it to get all the correct information from. But basically, it was Sega had the rights to publish the game in Japan a specific way, but neither Sony or Xbox had a way to do it. But Sony had the rights to publish on the Xbox in North America, and Sony didn't have the right to either of those, so they didn't start making a Sony version of the game yet. So it's coming out on Xbox now, and while they're finishing up on the Sony version of it to be able to release later on.
Damn.
So yeah, so Japan's not getting any version of that in some form or fashion until later, but here we're getting the game.
That is the first I'm ever hearing of something like that, where we get something before Japan does.
Yeah. It's just the way that it worked out.
Yeah. Holy fuck.
Yeah, that was the big news that dropped today. Destin from IGN was like, "What are you doing? I'm just downloading 132 documents from the leak FTC thing. Nothing much."
Oh, Jesus. I'm just trying to process it all. Holy fuck.
Yeah. Looks like the if this is actually not old news like Spencer's trying to say, the refresh of this consoles and stuff will look to happen around mid next year. We'll see if that ever comes to pass.
Yeah, because holy crap, that's gonna be a lot, especially if people are expecting the next gen of the Switch is supposedly going to be coming out or announced next year. Now, I don't remember. Did PlayStation say anything either about a like a PS5 Pro or a PS6?
I thought there were rumors about it, but I can't recall ever seeing anything about it.
I think I've heard rumors too. It's not, but nothing concrete. But I can still say this: whatever Xbox was going to come out for a handheld, no matter what it is, it's going to be a million times better than the freaking PlayStation Portal. Fuck that shit.
I have a feeling it's going to be all Wi-Fi based, just because obviously it's the cloud. But yeah, I mean, if you can make, dude, it's going to be Stadia all over again, but in a good way.
Yeah.
If they do it like that and it's based on Game Pass, because the thing switched over and they showed all the titles for the Game Pass Basic, or whatever the fuck it was called now.
Mm-hmm.
Like the 35 titles that they have on there are really good. It's an awesome selection. It's solid games that you can play, but if most, if not all of those are cloud-based, and then you get a handheld that's just a cloud handheld to connect to those things, you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, basically. Let's see how it does.
That's if it comes out. There's no confirmation about this, obviously, and they're not going to say yes or no to it. We're going to have to wait and see.
Basically, I think they're going to, if anything, they're probably learning from what the backlash that Sony's getting for the new PSP, and do it better.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna be looking for that amiibo.
I was gonna say, since you didn't know about the Xbox stuff, how do you feel finding that out today?
Holy shit!
Mm-hmm. I wonder how it's gonna affect anything from the acquisition now.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm wondering if that. Well, they would. Now, is this new information that the FTC is getting, or is this information the FTC has?
I don't know.
Because if this,
I have no clue.
Because my thinking is, if this is information the FTC didn't have before the trial, and they're getting it after the trial, I'm wondering if it's enough. If it's enough for it to get retried.
Maybe.
Because that would fuck shit up big time.
Yeah.
But if they had it before the trial, then shame on FTC for listening to Sony and not doing their job.
Yeah. How about, I know we're about to wrap up. I'm going to ask you something to end on like a more positive note.
Yeah.
What is a game that you know of or that you have played that had a really good or memorable opening that stuck with you?
Oh, Jesus.
Make you think.
I know, right? I would have to say, I don't know if it counts as an opening though, because you have to play the game for a little bit. Final Fantasy IX before you can get to like the like it's multiple scenes, so I don't know if it counts as a, like it didn't all was.
Let's say
one
the
opening.
beginning up until the title, I guess. If that helps to give you some parameters.
It does not.
Okay.
I'll go with Kingdom Hearts 1.
I had to think about it too.
I'm gonna have to go with Kingdom Hearts 1.
When you're fighting on the stained glass with whatever stat you pick to begin with, or
oh no, I'm talking about the
while you're on
opening
the
cinematic
island
altogether.
Okay. All right. I had to think about it, and I know that I could probably think of something better later, but the one that just came to mind to me was the beginning of the first Assassin's Creed, because there was that air of mystery around it, and you're like, oh, I'm this guy running around this place, and I'm an assassin doing all this shit, and then come to find out you're not really. You're a person in modern times, and you're reliving some of your ancestors' memories trying to figure out something. Because there was no talk about that. The mystery was there the whole time. And Ubisoft had alluded to it. Was like, people had asked, hey, what are these like glitches that are going on the screen and stuff? And they're like, oh, you'll find out about that. And just come to find out you're playing memories from your ancestors rather than that's the actual game.
Right.
It was a cool little kind of twist. It kind of turned the thing on its head. It's like, oh, there's another layer to the story.
Yeah. I didn't think you were going that route with it. I was thinking for me where reason why I was picking Kingdom Hearts 1 was because, like, granted, other games had like their especially where I was a fan of the Final Fantasy series, they had their opening cinematic where it looked beautiful and everything like that. I want to say this is the first time I've seen it where they actually put like an actual pop song into it and played out.
It felt like a music video.
Yeah, basically. It had energy. It had stuff like that. I could see it outside of that.
And that song stuck around for a long ass time too.
Oh yeah, to the point that they got a new song for Kingdom Hearts 2. They rehashed it, the original Kingdom Hearts 1 game, for every side installment until Kingdom Hearts 3, which got its own song, which they almost didn't. Which I thought was pretty cool because they didn't know if they were going to be able to get Hikaru Utada to do a song for Kingdom Hearts 3. But they ended up getting her on board, and apparently Skrillex was more than happy to help.
Of course.
But yeah, no,
all right,
that did it for me.
Okay, fair enough. I will agree with you that is pretty memorable, especially since that song was everywhere. And of course, if you know the song, you knew what it was tied to.
Oh, absolutely. I still have it on my playlist.
More power to you. All right, let's wrap this shit up. Where can people find us?
They can find us on the socials.
Okay. All the normal ones, except for TikTok, because we don't do that. But maybe we'll have to. I don't know.
Oh.
And as you like to say, what are we on now?
The YouTubes!
I was going to say, did you forget?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that fun stuff. Oh, and Threads. I only post the podcast there, so I don't interact with it much. But if X... no. I haven't even thought about that. I was going to make a Discord for us. But if X or Twitter goes the way of actually charging for use of the platform, I'm dropping everything.
I heard it.
So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. But for now, we're there.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye.